No, it's
There it
recording now.
is.
Okay, I
We're
have to
on
get that
air.
on. We are in here. Hey guys, welcome back to my podcast. We had an interesting discussion last episode about internal organizations, but today we're talking about the human resource management and training that goes into the business and its success. Today we are joined with Nick once again. I am happy to have you back for this episode.
Hey, thanks for having me back. Seriously, I'm stoked to dive into this. Last week's internal stuff was cool, but training? That's where you
Training?
got the rubber beat the road.
Right.
As a
I mean,
college kid who has done the internship rounds, from hard hats to construction project leaders with the ultra clean offices of tech execs, I've seen some epic successes and some major fails in how companies get their teams up to speed. Let's do this.
I've had my fair share of dealing with it as a manager, so we got two perspectives. So we're just going to dive right on in to job analysis. So the definition is a purposeful, systematic process for collecting information on the important work-related aspects of a job. So at my current job, I'm an administrative assistant, very different from past ones, yada yada. Oh well. So that means that I'm expected to book rooms, answer phone calls and emails, maintain records, and understand the systems that are constantly being used and updated. Some may say I'm a secretary. I choose assistant. I digress though. But at this job, I'm immersed in Microsoft Office. I prepare Excel spreadsheets. I attach documents to each email that I send as I'm constantly in communication with students and parents and instructors. I also need to pay very close attention to detail. I need to fully understand the budgets that I have available, what I need to order, what goes to what goes to who, what budget it comes from, and I need to understand the amount that's allotted in each budget because all of them are different. Each process is separate from each other, but they all work hand in hand while I analyze the work that I need to do, the processes that I need to understand, and what I need to apply to the job that I'm doing. Understanding time management is honestly key, especially when doing as much work as you're expected to do during your shift, whether it's food or, like you said, the internships, or if you're just sitting at a desk. It all just kind of works together somehow.
Job analysis is definitely the blueprint. When I was interning with a construction management team, I watched them use this constantly. But they didn't call it job analysis. They called it breaking down the work. They were figuring out what skills a foreman actually needs versus what a general laborer needs. For example, the laborers need to know safety protocols and maybe how to operate one machine. But the foreman, they need crazy time management and communication skills. That's what you mentioned in your admit example. I watched one foreman, Frank, constantly review the scope of work and realize, wait, the old description I said just delegate, but now I also have to handle all the drone footage data. That's a new work related aspect. If you don't update that job analysis when you hire the wrong Frank, the whole project timeline collapses. It's important. It's crucial.
Yeah, depends on the Frank that you get, I guess. They gotta know what they're getting into. Um, I mean, that kind of flows into like human resource information and the systems that they use. They need to fully understand.
Sorry, my dog wanted in. Go on.
You're all good. I mean, human resource information systems, they need to gather information, analyze it, they need to store it and disseminate the information related to the human resource management process. They
Hmm.
need to understand what kind of frank they're getting, whether they're going to do the work, if they're going to comply with the expectations and the standards. It really depends because they have to understand the applications and the selection, the interview processes, and the resumes that are coming in. There's always applications and resumes being sent in for any new job openings, whether it's internal or external. There's just always that flow coming in. And the responsibility of all of it falls into HR. Whether they want it or not, it goes to them, and then it goes to management so that they can set up the interviews and determine whether someone is a good fit or not. I mean, the human resource information system, it's a system that's used to store this key information, to calculate pay, manage performance and attendance. The functions, they run smoother when they have a smooth system in place, when the system functions as it should and everybody is compliant with it. I mean, it's easy to keep track of all the documentation and data for each of the employees or applicants within the company. It also allows for interviews to run smoothly by gaining information and insight into how the applicant can fit into the company and meet the expectations of the job.
Yeah, you were definitely on point with the human resource information system. I would say it's like the brain of the company and the tech industry. They treat it like gold. When I was interning at that tech startup, I saw how much they streamlined their hiring. You mentioned applications and resumes. They use their HRAS to automatically filter for keywords from the job analysis. It was so fast, but it's more than just hiring. The human resource information system also is where the team's leads they manage performance reviews and they track training competition and completion. One of the project leads was obsessed with keeping all their certification data updated in their system because if an employee's clearance lapsed, they can't get on a secure project. The smooth
Right.
system they had in place wasn't just about HR, it was about business continuity. Without that data, projects literally stop running. It makes everything less clunky, and it keeps the focus on the actual work.
I mean, it benefits internal and external applications. I mean, whether someone is applying after they've been there and they are looking for a promotion or a new growth opportunity, or they're applying from an outside source like LinkedIn or Indeed, and they're looking for a career or they're looking for something to just fill their time. I mean, these systems, they're crucial, especially if they want these projects to run smoothly and for them to continue. You need to have everybody work on the same or work at the same pace on the same page, however you want to say it. But these are extremely necessary. They want that information and so that they can gain more insight as to how the business can succeed with or without that person.
Precisely.
I mean, that also, it kind of like flows into the training aspect. Training is the exact definition is developing the skills and experience and knowledge employees need to perform their jobs or improve their performance. I mean, in any workplace, whether it's government, retail, food, automotive, any industry that anybody can set foot in, there's a system of training that allows the company to run smoothly. as they accept new employees into the establishment. It can be new or current training is always essential. I mean, it helps them gain more insight and become more productive, especially with new updated systems, new ways to complete tasks at hand, and how to resolve conflicts that may arise. That's something that people look over in a lot of industries, whether it's retail or food or just a government job, because there's always a conflict. If it's like the internal, like, application process, people apply for these jobs and then it can cause conflict because there's tension that someone deserved it more or it wasn't fair. If you don't have the training on how to resolve these conflicts, they're never going to get resolved and it's just going to create more hostility.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Training is one thing that gets me fired up. Uh, it's like you have the best selection process, but if you don't train people, they're dead weight. It's all about
Right.
developing skills and experience. I saw the contrast between the construction site and the tech office. On the site, it was all hands-on training, mentorship. You watch and you learn by doing and watching. But at the tech firm, they were constantly dealing with updated software. They used simulations and quick modular online courses. They weren't just training new hires, they were training everyone on the updates to stay competitive. It was continuous. The main objective was always to solve the problem. How do we work more efficiently and reduce errors? Trading wasn't just a one-time class, it was the mechanism for constant improvement. You always have to keep training and make sure that your employees are up to date on the newest things. And that's how it goes in the tech industry. It's different for construction for sure.
I mean, I definitely agree because at my current job, I have to understand Microsoft Office. I have to have hands-on training with dealing with these students and parents without breaking the FERPA law or and like
Sorry.
med no, you're good. The medical word like HIPAA violations, it's the confidentiality of the student because they're all adults. I also know or I need to know how to properly inform students of expectations, how to have that written communication so that it covers my tracks, it gives them all the information that they need, and they have it in the palm of their hand. It also the training is essential to keep instructor data up to date and organized. There's constantly new licenses, new certificates that are being earned throughout all of them, and you constantly have to have it up to date. It makes it easier to credential them and give them the courses that they have earned to teach in a way. I mean, the training, it provides the ability to strengthen old skills and develop new ones while completing the work that's expected.
Do you have any questions for me, Alex?
I do. So, in the job analysis aspect, in your case, whether it can be the internships or the current job that you have, what expertise or knowledge do you need to perform your job well and up to standard?
Well, in my internship experiences, the expertise I saw was less about specific degrees and more about adaptability and proactive communication. In construction, a team leader needs to have deep knowledge of materials, sure, but what really sets the successful ones apart is anticipating problems. You have to like adapt. Okay.
Right.
For one leader, for instance, you have to understand not just the systems that you're building, but the local permit codes that are constantly changed. That knowledge isn't technical, it's logistical and it takes years to build. In tech, on the other hand, there was cross functional awareness. A project manager needed to understand not just their code, but the design team's timeline and the marketing team's goal. Okay, so the different aspects, the different parts of the company, all right, you have to be aware of it and how it ties together. Like, my observation is that the expertise isn't just static on what's needed. It's always the blend of hard skills and those amazing soft skills that help them navigate complexity.
I mean, yeah, you worded it perfectly. I mean, that was a really insightful answer. I'm gonna keep that in the noggin for when I become a project manager one
Thanks. I was practicing in that mirror for 3 hours.
day. Alrighty, so on to question 2 about the human resource information systems. How do you feel that HRIS systems have helped companies stay organized and increase success?
So I think HRS systems have helped companies majorly in two ways: consistency and speed. When I watched the tech company hire, the HRS standardized the selection process. Everyone got the same set of required information, and their data was tracked in the same way. The consistency is huge for legal compliance and just making the hiring process feel fair. But the big win is speed. Instead of HR wading through physical files and dozens of confusing spreadsheets and all this crap, the HRS lets them instantly pull up recording and training records, performance scores, and attendance history. This quick access to accurate data means management can make decisions like promoting someone or an employee, or correcting a performance issue in days, not even weeks. It's fast. It really turns HR from a paperwork bottleneck into a strategic partner.
Right. I mean, it limits any favoritism and it goes based on expertise. I mean, that's kind of essential because it shows that it's fair whether employees think it is or not. Shows that it's going based off of the work, the quality of work, rather than who is more personable. It's also just an electronic filing cabinet, makes it a little easier for the hand. Don't have to write as much. All you gotta do is type.
I know after a while, it's like your wrist gets so sore, and I just hate it. As much as I like
Mhm.
to draw, even that will make me sore. So you're gonna
I
need to look
can
for
feel the
efficiency ways to
arthritis.
definitely cut corners from on an ergonomic standpoint.
Exactly. Any way to get away from a pencil and paper. Alrighty, so my last question for you is based on training. So, what do you feel the main objective or outcome are of training?
The main objectives I've seen are pretty simple but vital: risk mitigation and talent retention. First, risk mitigation. On the construction site, training on safety protocols are literally life and death. They weren't just checking a box, but they were reducing the risk of a major accident, which saves money and lives. Second of all, talent retention. The tech company was constantly offering training on new programming languages and certifications. Why? Because employees want to grow, obviously. If a company invests in skills and helps me develop, I feel valued and I'm less likely to jump ship for another job. Training is basically a key component of the employee value proposition. It's basically management saying, "We believe in your future here." And that's incredibly motivating.
Yeah. If I, when I was a manager, I would walk up to my staff and be like, "Do you feel like you can do this?" It gave them the motivation. It showed them that I had the trust and I believed in them. And they always, I'm not going to say every time, but they almost always provided high quality work in a really reasonable amount of time. And they always came to me if they had an issue, and they knew that I would always support them and I would give them more training if they needed it. It just It boosts morale, and there's no hostility. It keeps it very lighthearted and positive while still managing to get the work done.
Yeah. I like when teams would do some sort of activity to keep the bond up because like when there's team bonding, then you're more incentivized to put a good performance in front of those people and also cooperate with them. You'd want to help each other out more when you like each other.
Right. I mean, it helps with the teamwork because you know that you can bounce ideas off of each other and there's not going to be judgment. There's not going to be any ideas being shot down or anything. Just makes it a little easier to enjoy the work that you're doing, even if you secretly hate it. Well, that wraps up this episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning into another podcast with me. I think we had a really insightful discussion about human resource management and how it can really bring success to the table of any business, whether it's just job analysis for those that are working or looking for a job, or the actual human resource information systems where it can organize your data, make it a little easier to understand a human resource perspective of the job. And also training. Training is crucial for any business. Old or new employees can always use it. Businesses will always benefit from it. It never hurts.
And I really like the human resource aspect because we humans are social creatures, much like dogs.
Exactly.
So it's important that we have a lot of connection to the company and all the ranks and the higher ups that we can communicate with each other more effectively and that we have the best talent that the world can offer, especially in our vicinities and our fields. So it's
Exactly.
very interesting. It's a social concept altogether.
Yeah. I mean it's a community at the end of the day. It gives you the support, a shoulder, whether you're providing the shoulder or you're getting the shoulder provided to you, whichever. It gives you that backbone and that support that you need to make any decision and to feel responsible in your role. I mean, all the systems, they work together. They're separate, but they work together and it guides the success of the business and it drives the positivity, the community, the work that's put in. It just makes it nicer to work at, even if you hate working. But I mean, I would like to thank Nick for joining us today and giving us his thoughts into this discussion.
Thank you too for letting me in.
Of course, happy to have you. But that wraps up this episode, and I can't wait to see you guys for the next one. Bye.
See you. We'll lead the cast next time.
Yeah.
That's why it's called the lead cast.